Take two. Take two. Use take two.
I love that. That's like take two, but now we can just not tell them the embarrassing stuff that we just told them.
Yeah.
And
so
those who are really good at lip
reading. You guys missed some quality Savage Garden discussions just then. I take responsibility for that.
For Savage Garden and for the sounds?
Well, mostly the sounds. Our good friend Alan decided to leave me at the controls this morning just to make sure I could do it.
He's been babysat.
And I've gotten, up until now, except for putting up the...
smooth.
Aside from the sound. So anyway, good morning.
Good morning. It's day 2, Zero to Revenue Challenge.
Yes.
I love that we can do this again.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about what we covered yesterday and what we're most looking forward to about today. So a brief recap, I'm going to do that all week, of the things that we covered yesterday. We dived into the problem that we are addressing. So we're looking at early stage founders and their investors and how they engage and communicate with each other. Yesterday afternoon, we had chock-a-block with customer interviews. So that was really, really good to hear from people telling us about their experience as founders. And we dived into a little bit of a look at alternatives and competitors. We had some suggestions from our community, so we really appreciate that. We are joined by Ben, which is fantastic. He's firing on in. And we're going to have a look ahead at what we're going to work on today.
Hey, Ben. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good. I've got a real challenge today. I've got to try and keep this. Just a bit of flapjack, bit of energy in the day. I'm going to try and keep this out of this dog's way. Yesterday, just to talk to my wife for about 30 seconds, came back, the entire box had been devoured in about 10 seconds.
Was this the source of the?
No, this was
yesterday's dog puke.
Yes.
If anybody was wondering,
yesterday's dog puke.
That was the rule.
I also cleaned up the garden in the morning. I'll leave it there. So I had that to look forward to this morning as a result of this. So, yes, but let's leave it there. Let's move on to the
Well, it looks.
Why else would people dial in the morning rather than just to hear the update on the dog?
He looks remorseful.
It's what people are here for, right?
Exactly.
Ben, what's the dog's name so that we can...
Evie. Well, Evie looks very remorseful. Sitting right now.
Or full.
Or full. Well, anyway, so we're just recapping what we got done yesterday and what was achieved.
It'd be pretty cool to touch base on how far we got with the product in one day. Yeah.
So Ben, we can see the dashboard on the screen. Just explain just what goes into getting to where we are right now.
Yeah, well, I think it's first worth noting that with the goal being zero to revenue being the key number, what we essentially have as we stand here today, or sit here today, is a product that can actually now take revenue. And so that's no small feat. Well, it's a fairly small feat, but it shouldn't be underestimated, I suppose, psychologically. We now have something that can be sold. The job now, I suppose, is to start layering up the value within the product so that it becomes something people do want to pay, which is kind of that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we have right now is you can go onto the homepage, you can pick a plan. We have both monthly and annual versions, and you can now sign up, and then that takes you, as you mentioned, to the dashboard, which I think is what you're sharing on the screen. Yeah, I mean, I can go into technical things about what the dashboard is doing and the subdomains and stuff, but I don't know that's too deep at this level.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, people can see, or if you squint, you can see, like our dashboard is kendava.briefingroom.co, and obviously I set it up because it's our company, Kendava, so it just shows you that functionality is already built in. And then we also just made a way for people to prepay. So if you are interested in prepaying and supporting us, and if you spend $50, you'll get 50% off for life. Plus that $50 will go towards your subscription, whatever you choose. And we're going to do an experiment where we're going to increase that price every day for the rest of the week. So the earlier you get in, the more cheaper it is, the cheaper the deal is. And of course, if you're not completely satisfied within 60 days, you don't like our progress, we'll give you your money back. So that's our deal.
And I love that, by the way. I mean, not only is it a great deal, because obviously, you know, it's 50% off for life. I mean, that's fantastic, and it's a pretty low amount in order to get that discount. But I think just more holistically, it's fantastic that pricing and those sort of microeconomics, I suppose,
yeah.
are being experimented with also
Yeah.
during this week, and that's at least captivating to watch, and hopefully more than that as well.
And hopefully, yes.
Yeah, because we have our revenue on screen as well, so we're going to be able to see that.
Hopefully.
I can't see. Why can't I see that?
Well,
Because you're not watching the live stream,
if you
you're
watch the
part
live
of it.
stream, you'll be able to see it.
Actually, it's brilliant because it's your head and then the dollar sign.
Exactly. You know where the moneymaker there. Cool. And so, do you want to recap the rest of the things that happened during the day in terms of people that we got talking to, and then we'll jump into stand-up in terms of what it is that we want to achieve?
Yeah, for sure. So yesterday we had an afternoon filled full of customer interviews. So we heard from John from Drinkly and Alex from Finder, Jeremy from Power Life, Saria from My Tamarin, and it was just a really good way of hearing how other founders go about their business, how they update their shareholders and their investors, and what challenges they face. So that was really, really good to hear from them. And then we were joined by Sarah, who took us on a little bit of a journey from how she went from working in the university sector to leading on values-led businesses. And you spoke to Jen yesterday afternoon.
I did, yeah. So Jen from Savvy Cooperative, doing a really interesting, not only an interesting business, but an interesting business model in terms of the company formation. So they decided that a co-op was the right method to go for their organization that basically puts patients first when considering like opening up patients for clinical trials or research projects. I'm not explaining it very well, but go to savvy.coop to find out more. But it's not only an interesting business, but the patients themselves own the business in a co-op model. So we talked about the positives and negatives about choosing a co-op model and why it worked for her.
And then after Jen, we heard from Val, and I think this is really good for early stage founders. We had that question of when and why and how do I find and use an accountant?
Yes.
So definitely as an early stage founder, how much should we be doing ourselves? How much do we need to ask for support? So that was just a really good touch point for getting advice from Val on accountancy.
And so then coming up today on Tuesday, so we're putting the schedule up on the screen for you.
So we're going to be starting with, the three of us will be deep diving into different areas of work. We have the lead generation ideas that we came up with yesterday. We're going to be working in building those out. So feel free to join us in the morning. If you want a bit of remote co-working, that's what we're here for. You can pop us on silent, or you can, fingers crossed, that you'll hear some more Savage Garden from us.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's what we're doing this morning, and then you can see what's coming up this afternoon. So first up in the afternoon, we're going to be hearing from Bruce, and you had a chat with Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce from FutureX. We talk about lots of things, building impactful businesses, also the importance of ecosystems, the differences between the local Edinburgh and Scottish scene, and international ones, and what we can all learn from each other. Really kind of wide-ranging with Bruce, always good value, and he's embarrassingly young, so that also is a problem. But we got over that. I got over it. And then after that, talking to Elle from Gang Hut, and she created a company, a kind of PR marketing company, but around a very what used to be quite a niche area, and that's the sharing economy, which is double-sided marketplaces now. And what making that kind of specific niche decision meant for her business going forward, and also she's a values-led, mission-run business, and that's incredibly interesting. Anybody out there who's interested in double-sided marketplaces should definitely tune in there, because she's seen a lot of them. And so we talked about what are the common things that actually trip up double-sided marketplaces. It's not what you might expect, so you should check that out.
And then we have Pooja and then Callum, and the chat that I had with Pooja from Cogni Health was brilliant. So we really dug into the very early stages of being a founder, finding co-founders, and trying to make that work. So how you communicate with each other, what the challenges in that might be, whether you're friends beforehand or not, and what that relationship looks like. That was a really a good discussion. And then Callum is joining us live, so he is now going to be our second live guest. Yep. We had Andrew Johnson in live yesterday, talking about his businesses, his tech startup, and doing some mindfulness with us. Callum, it's going to be a little bit of a different chat, but he'll be joining us in the library, and we'll be covering what is an accelerator, who is it for, what are the things to consider if you're thinking about potentially joining one.
Yep, they're accelerators and they're accelerators, so we'll talk about both of those and what they mean. After that, we'll kind of preview, or you will profile one of the tools that we've been using all week.
So on our Slack channel, we have this tool, that tool channel, which has been showing the different tools that we're using so far. We've also had suggestions from our community members, and today we're going to be running through Missinglettr, which we used a little bit yesterday and we want to dive into because we found it really helpful so far.
After that, I'll be talking to Siobhan Clark from episode 1. We talk about the difference between understanding your market opportunity and your go-to-market strategy, and how a lot of times people conflate the two, and why that's so important, especially so important not to do, especially when you're at a very early stage. Also, just what she looks for in early stage companies that episode 1 kind of goes after. After that, I talk with Martin from CoBloom, Martin Stewart, about SaaS pricing strategy. They're a SaaS pricing strategy firm, and they have some really interesting articles, one of which is in our kind of resources channel, about all the different types of pricing that SaaS companies go through, and just positives and negatives for each.
And then I caught up with Nicole from Relocate Guru. Now this one is going to be fantastic for any of the entrepreneurs out there, so people who are pre-founder thinking about stepping in. Nicole really gets under the hood about what does it actually feel like, what are the decision points of should I make this step and start my own business, and what effect will that have on my family, the money that I have available, the time that I have available. So we had a really good discussion with her.
And then finally, I spoke with Baptiste Debever of Feedier, who runs a SaaS product or helps to run a SaaS product. He's the co-founder and head of growth of Feedier, and we talked through how they were able to go from 0 to 4,000 users in less than a year. We also talked about AppSumo. They went on AppSumo and did a deal with them. And for those of you who know about AppSumo, you pay one amount and you get lifetime access for free. So it's one of these deal sites. And there are pluses and minuses of engaging with it. So I talk about his decision to go on there, and all the benefits that it brought him, and also just some tips for those who might be considering looking at AppSumo as well.
All right, so let's dive into stand-up.
Stand-up. So Ben, what's on tap for today? What are you looking to achieve today?
So today it's all about creating the things, or so that the user can create all the things. So the things in the context of briefing room, things like rooms, adding team members, people to a room themselves, basically just defining how you want things to work within it and adding the records. So it won't necessarily be the most beautiful from a UX or from a workflow standpoint, but by the end of the day, you should be able to start adding, removing, or editing those various types of data or types of records within the platform, so that from tomorrow onwards, we can start prettifying and sort of slicking up the sort of how it all sort of gets pieced together.
Okay, cool. And what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge?
There shouldn't be any. I think it's all pretty much on schedule. I think it's again, you can kind of think of yesterday and today as just standard building blocks that pretty much any technical project needs to go through. Yesterday was about connecting the things, so servers, Stripe, payments, sign-ups, all that sort of stuff. Today is about building those basic building blocks so that we can add and remove and edit the data. And you'd need to do that in anything, and it's just like the sort of thing that any developer should be able to do with their eyes closed. Tomorrow is where we start adding a bit more value.
Okay, cool. All right.
I can see a challenge.
What?
What if Evie eats more chocolate?
Yeah. What if you can't keep the bucket away? That would be a challenge. Okay, so Lizzie, what are you looking to achieve by the end of today?
So by the end of the day, I'm going to have all of the speakers that I have spoken to or am speaking to. I'm going to be sharing all the content with them to be able to promote their talk and help spread the word. That really helped yesterday. We got a good buzz rolling on social because of the speakers' engagement. I'm going to have the questions and prompts ready for the community, make sure that we're tapping into and answering the questions that you guys have, making sure that feedback loop is there. And something that came up yesterday that I want to create today is for people who aren't able to watch the whole of the live stream, imagine. They maybe feel like they're missing key points or key decisions. So I want to make sure that we're documenting that and we're able to display that in a way that it's pretty brief. People can catch up on these are the key decisions and directions that they made in any one day. So those are the 3 things that I want to touch on. And then I have my lead generation that I'm going to be leading on, and I don't know if we want to maybe cover that later in the schedule.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we have been talking about different lead gen activities yesterday. After we finished last night, we talked about it some more, brainstormed with Ben and a couple of other people. So Lizzie and I will kind of talk about that after we let Ben go, and about the KPIs or the things that we're going to be looking to achieve each day. And so that's it.
That's me.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, so most of my day is about lead gen. Especially one of these projects, which we can go into a bit more deeply. I also want to. I think the biggest risk tomorrow and the next day will be kind of as Ben is intimating. Like, I worry that things might grow arms and legs in terms of what it is that we want it to be able to have. What kind of features and what kind of feeling that we're going to want it to be able to have. And I feel like that we're a little cloudy, or at least I'm a little cloudy. Sorry, on the specifics. Around that. So what I want to do is I want to get something down on paper, preferably in a visual format, to try and just articulate like what an example might look like of one of these rooms. So at least you and Ben can kind of start to critique it, say what might be possible or say what you don't like, and maybe for us to share it with the community and just see like, are we on the right track here? And is all of this achievable, or is half of it achievable by the end of the week? So that's a goal of mine too.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for standing.
Cool. All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Catch you in a bit.
So I think we should just go right in to. We'll just go right into. I'll get up.
Oh, he's on the move.
He's on the move.
I'm pouring more peppermint tea.
Right.
So we want to talk about our
Let's
lead
talk
gen
about lead
ideas?
gen. Yeah. Microphone almost knocked over my zebra.
So yesterday we kind of got stuck into some high-level lead generation ideas, and then we knuckled down after the live stream yesterday and came up with a little bit more defined what projects can we lead on and deliver that we can action in a week, and that we can deliver outcomes in the week.
So
right?
yeah,
that actually move the needle.
I think we were a little fried trying to get everything set up. Certainly I was.
I definitely was.
Yeah, and we also haven't sold SaaS before. We've been either or haven't been leading on selling SaaS before.
Yeah.
So yesterday we were thinking about some of these product ideas that were kind of products in their own right. Yes, they might be lead generation products, but you end up having to then sell that product just to get someone to sign up to that product so you have their email address so that you can sell them your product.
Right, and so those ideas were things like a space where people could connect, essentially. Someone could ask for something and someone else could provide that thing.
Yeah.
So that might be, I'm looking for a co-founder, or I'm looking for an investor. And that was one of the ideas.
Yeah, which makes sense theoretically. It's a way to try and engage the people who either are your target market or who might be your target market. But how much effort are you going to go into
playing a long game?
Actually, yeah, you're playing a long game. So then we thought about different content marketing aspects. So like creating resource libraries and listicles and all that good stuff. And again,
totally necessary. Need to build it.
And really important for awareness. But as Ben said, like, guys, this is just a week. Like, what's going on? So we kind of refocused ourselves and tried to think, well, what are the actual things that we can do, not to direct someone to something and then direct them to briefing room, but just to direct them directly to briefing room. So we kind of settled on
two different
projects. So what are you going to be focused on?
So I am going to be focused on leading our launch on Product Hunt. So we think about early adopter communities. If we think about where founders hang out, Product Hunt is a really good initial testing space for that. So my aim this week is to have a complete Product Hunt plan put together. So when we'll be launching, what we'll be needing for that, what different actions we'll need a community to take, and just have that completely planned out. So although we may not launch within the week, because we're going to have to build the product, that will be entirely created, scoped, and we'll know what we're going to deliver for Product Hunt. So the aim there is that we're talking about directing numbers directly to Briefing Room as a product. It's not via zero to revenue as something that we're talking about. It's not via an extra gateway tool.
It's direct.
It's directly into Briefing Room.
Yeah, and so what I'll be focused on is direct outreach to people that we've hypothesized are our target market. So specifically, or those who are gatekeepers to our target market. So specifically to people like accelerators, incubators all over the world, because the hypothesis is these people are more likely to be valuing external validation and support because they've gone to an accelerator, right? They've recognized in themselves that they either need external support because they don't have a background in whatever they're doing, or they see the value in bringing other people in and at least sharing the headspace with others. And so I think that makes sense for people who should be our target market. So I'm going to be focused on trying to find out how to contact those people, making good lists, and then trying to see the best way of engaging. So both the accelerator, incubator, ecosystem type people, and then the founders themselves, and then trying to figure out ways of bringing them in on the conversation and asking them what they want, but also trying to sell them the product.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll be working on. So by the end of today, I want to have some draft deliverables to them. So is that a cold email? Is it a whatever that is? And I also want to have the starting point of I want to have at least 100 addresses.
Okay. So build the list.
Yeah, build the list of 100 addresses. So that a lot of that will just be kind of pecking away, but
yeah, so you're going to see us kind of live working this morning, getting through those action points. Definitely keep on tapping us up on Slack, asking us any questions that you have and suggestions. We're going to look into this issue about if the live stream is viewable all over the world. We've got questions from Spain, which is great that people are trying to watch it, but a shame that they can't currently access it.
It's not working.
So we're gonna take a look into that for you guys as well. And just a reminder, Gelb, that we're doing the Zero to Revenue Challenge, so it's taking a product from zero to revenue in 1 week. And yesterday we had the big win of actually being able to take on board payments. So I wondered if you wanted to give an update again on today, what is on offer.
Yeah, sure. So we created our landing page yesterday, and we've since Stripe is working, what we've done is we're doing a special $50 if you prepay $50. And that'll go towards your eventual subscription. You get 50% off for life. So that's pretty simple. So you pay $50. Let's say you sign up to a subscription valued at what are our subscription values? At $37. That first off, that cuts in half for life, and your $50 goes towards that. And that's only for today, and tomorrow it's going to be the same deal, but we're going to increase the price. So from $50, it's going to go up, and then the day after that, it's going to go up, and it's going to go up until the end of the week. And so it's this week only that you can get the kind of 50% off for life, but hopefully it's a way for you to both support us and kind of invest in a product that might be valuable for you. So go to briefingroom.co. You can click on the prepay, press the Stripe button at the bottom, and kind of join along with us. Be our first bit of revenue.
Yeah.
Make that number
next to Ben's head
go up. So yeah, that's the deal.
Perfect. So I think with that, I love how it lags behind. We are gonna dive into our work, and then we will be updating you guys on what's next. So our first talk is at 1 today.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, so if you're working, work alongside us, but
yeah.
Other than that, you'll see the clickety clack. All right. Can you try? Did you get the email? Can you try clicking on it?
Yeah. I have not seen it yet. Yeah, I agree.
Does it work? Yeah, because it's linking to a watch thing. It's not linking to the channel.
So that might also be the
The Spain thing, yeah.
Do you have the exact link? It should be.
Yes, it's on general.
It is the one in general.
I'll copy it. Let's see. All right, I'm going to stop the stream right now for a second while we repackage it so we can start it again.
So that people can catch up on what our stand-up was this morning.
Yeah.
And then we'll fire it back on.
And then we'll fire it back on. So if you're watching now, you can sit tight and we'll be back in like 30 seconds. But otherwise, yeah.
Catch you later.
Catch you in a second.
back live, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say hi to Mike because he says that he can see us and hear us tapping away, so he knows that we're working. So thanks, Mike. am going to add you to lead generation channel and then add other people in. We've had feedback that people have found the lead gen chat interesting, like where we first went and then our redirection.
Okay.
So I'm going to add the rest of the community into the Slack channel for lead gen, and we can pop our updates in there. I know we'll be doing verbal ones when we do our updates, but we can keep our projects up to date, and it'd be great to hear if anyone else has suggestions about stuff that they have done that worked and stuff that hasn't worked, especially in the experience of SaaS.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. That'd be cool.
When you have done the rest of the week, I'm going to send that over to Tom for the follow-up interviews like he did with Andrew yesterday. So he knows who's in person. So it's just gone 9 o'clock. So I want to do a second hello and welcome to anyone who's joining us. So I'm Lizzie and this is
Gelb.
And we are 3/4 of the Zero to Revenue Challenge. Ben is down in Hampshire.
2/3.
2/3. There aren't 4, are there? There are only 3. 2/3 of the Zero to Revenue Challenge, and we are taking a product from idea to revenue in 1 week. So yesterday we made great leaps and bounds. The product is a SaaS product, and it helps solve the problem of early stage founders finding it difficult to update and engage their early stage investors. And the product is called Briefing Room. You can check it out at briefingroom.co. We've got our first offer up there now. We have our Slack community, which is growing by the day. We've had some great questions, lots of prompts this morning for more updates on the tools that we're using, the things that we're loving, the outreach and lead generation that we're doing. And I had someone ask, which I thought was a really good question, and I'm going to get this written up for all you guys, but I thought we could just take a minute to go through who are the team and who are all the different people that we're working with, because we kind of keep mentioning people who are off camera.
Okay.
And someone has said, but who are they and what do they do?
Who are they?
And it would be great to be able to introduce them, even though they're not physically here with us. So
so Ben is who's currently working down in Hampshire. I have to get that right. Thought it was Surrey, but it's the same thing to me.
It's a different place.
I know it's a different place, and I apologize
to everyone in England.
In England, yeah.
Or Lower England.
We're in Lower England? Southern England?
Southern.
I don't know, yeah. Anyway, so Ben, who's jumped off just for now, but you'll see him at 12. He's the product guy. He has created SaaS products many times before, an old hat at it, and he's the most important part, certainly technically, for the success of this week. So a lot of what he's doing is quite siloed because it's product development, but we're relying not only on him for his development work, but also for his expertise in SaaS, and it's not something that we've done before. So that's him.
That's him. We have Alan.
We have Alan, who's not here right now.
Alan has been amazing the past few days, making sure that we get to grips with the reality of live streaming. So literally what we need to turn on, turn off. This morning, those of you who were with us bright and early at 8 o'clock, saw us learn how to turn the sound on. So important things like that, which Alan, it's been seamless because of Alan. Now we're learning to do it ourselves. The hiccups are all ours.
Yeah.
So that's been Alan.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to come in through the door with another, very polite note, like, "Oh, guys, you forgot to turn the camera on."
And it holds up a piece of paper, turn the camera on.
Not right.
Very helpful. Who else do we have? Oh, me. So I'm Lizzie. I'm co-founder of Condaba, so myself, Gelb, and Will, a third co-founder of Condaba. Condaba is a B2C, a consumer-facing app, and it is all about creating a safe space for families to share online. So that's our background, and before that, my bag is all about community development, building teams, and culture.
And I'm Gelb. I'm also co-founder at Condaba. Before embarking into that world, so I worked for the University of St. Andrews, building kind of programs for them. And then before that, used to live on a converted school bus, driving around the US and interviewing people who are doing positive things in their communities, but who aren't getting a lot of recognition for it. And we'd get them onto like local and national news. So if you want to check that out, that's bus52.com. You can get a dose of inspiration. That was back in 2012, so a few years ago now. That's me. I'm originally from DC, which is, I guess, here a little exotic. I don't know.
It's a bit different. And then we have Linda Marie, known as LMT on Slack. So if you've seen LMT posting, she's helping us out with our outreach, our digital communications during the week. Who else have we not mentioned? Alan, LMT, Ben, you and me.
So the people that are hosting us here, the beautiful Anywhere Works. It's a collaboration space, a pretty new collaboration space in Edinburgh. And their whole ethos is that you should be able to work from anywhere. So, it's I don't know, it's simple. But that if we are going to reduce our carbon footprint, we need to change the mentality that people have when they're approaching work, especially like in a company setting. So they're all about how less time commuting, less time in the office means more time that you might be able to work, lower carbon footprint, and more opportunity for creativity. So their space here is rooms that are very different. We'll show you a couple of them. But they all look quite different.
So they have a different feel, a different
size,
size,
I'll show you.
Soft furnishings.
So I'll switch our.
Just to prove that you can. Just to show off to Alan.
Just to show off to Alan if Alan's watching. So you can see me here. So we're in the. Well, hang on. Why don't I just actually show you?
Noisy.
Oh my gosh.
Noisy. Sorry, everyone. So Gelba's going to show you the library. The books are arranged in color coordination. The idea being that you can just pick up a book, you can read it, you can pass it on, you can pay it forward, you can give it back, you can put a new one in. It's a really cool space. I particularly love, I think Gelb's going to show you the fact that there is a ladder on the bookcase. So it's very steady.
So how do we go back here?
Okay.
So there you go. So that's that. So this is the library.
Okay, slower. You're making us dizzy.
And then this is where Lizzie is.
Hey, what? He told you not to break the magic.
I know. I'm sorry. And then
Oh, show off the teleport.
And then every room in this, I don't know, you have to say because they can hear you.
Oh yeah,
Every
wait.
room has-
Every room has a teleport, great zooming, which we find when we work from anywhere. So if we're traveling to pitch to investors or go to an event, it's often really hard, because we have a fully remote team at Condaba, it's often really hard to do your daily stand-up and find somewhere with good Wi-Fi and with soundproofing. So every room has a little room that they call a teleport off the side so that you can sit and have your meetings. Whiteboard space that you can see, a really cool mural on the wall, which Gelb might show you if he can turn the video around and not trip up over the wires. Yeah, but a lot of tech, a lot of setup has gone into this, and we're really lucky to have the space and be able to leave it all set up each night after we end the live stream. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of background to us as a team. The other thing to say, as Gelb hurries background, the other thing to say is that all the other people who have and are supporting us, so everybody that we are speaking to during this week has given up their time to help the ecosystem, to teach other people what they know and to be able to share their experiences. We're really grateful to them. They have often been people that we have met at events, that we have worked with before, or just people that we've outreached to and said, I think you have something of value to share. Would you be able to give your time for us? So those people have been incredible. And then obviously our friends and families are coping with us being stuck to a green screen for a week. So grateful to them as well.
And then you might see him in the background, but we also have Tom, who is going around and making some more beautiful camera work. Yeah,
so when we have guests in live each day, Tom is having a little session with them in another room. I think that room is the Bothy, and he does a separate interview with them so that they have separate clips that we can use as teasers to their big live interview. So yeah, a really incredible team of people. Tom and Alan are both from Product Forge, so we're really grateful for their time.
And we are live streaming on Product Forge as well at the same time. So yeah, if you're watching us from Product Forge,
hi.
How you doing?
And I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
But great question. Thank you for our community members who are asking us these. It really helps us keep in mind, what have we forgotten to tell you or forgotten to explain or just not said out loud? Or what did we maybe say once but you didn't catch, and we should definitely be repeating those things. So keep those questions coming, and yeah, I'm going to write up a little insight into who the team are so that people who missed this can catch it.
Yeah.
All
right, back to work. Hopefully Alan won't kill me.
What did you touch?
Sorry, Alan.
Oh, I didn't think this was possible, but I found an annoying thing with Slack.
No way.
I know. I've never experienced that before. I'm really sorry. No, what time is it?
You have to. I know what you're talking about. I mean? So press invite and do it again.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
I know you don't want to have to, but.
So I'm inviting all you good people on Slack to a new channel because we were asked about our lead generation strategies, and we'd love to hear your experience of lead gen and SaaS products. So I'm adding you to the channel, and there's not enough space because there's too many of you, which is a great problem to have. We've already had good mornings from Spain, so if you're watching from around the world, let us know. We would love to hear where you're at, what a normal day looks like for you.
How long is this one? Do you remember?
I want to say 45 minutes.
Okay.
I can look up the Zoom if you like.
That's okay. If it's just around that.
It is around that. It's high energy.
Okay.
It's good. Just refill.
Good, thank you.
what do these mean?
Not finished. I was just trying to note, like, oh, they're missing something. When I was looking, either they don't have a speaker image or they don't have a description or something like that, but it was just a mental note.
Got you.
And then I'm bolding everything that has a guest.
That has a guest. So when they're not finished, do they just need pulled from the single point of truth for the speaker?
I don't know.
Or do you mean they're not even in there?
I don't know. I just was quickly kind of going through and trying to, like that one, for example, I think what that would just need is someone to write the event description.
Yeah.
We can go back and look at the speakers and add all their stuff later.
Cool.
But, yeah.
cool.
Hmm? Yeah. Oh, did you see this?
Yeah, I got one in Slack as well, thanks.
Okay.
I didn't see the email.
going to go through and start like researching some accelerators and things like that. And should I share the screen? Thinking I'll do that while we go, but just to break it up, should I stop the stream and then start it again?
And then restart. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
So-
building speaker outreach.
Anyone who's listening and working along, we're going to stop the stream and then we'll start it again just to break up the video. And we'll be back in like a minute.